Yes.
Let's wait for a minute to see. There we go. Let's see if we get some people watching. I'm just going to start it. Here we go. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Renee Live. And we are on part 2 tonight with Dr. Robert Shiepe. Am I saying that right?
Yes, you are correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
He's a pharmacist. He's also a scientist, and he captures UAPs or UFOs, and a lot of activity, not only around the world, but especially in Marina Del Rey, out in Los Angeles, California. So we are going to do a little brief recap of what we did last week, and then we are going to go into a little bit more stuff. And I'm going to attempt to put up a new video to share with you of something that was sent to you, right? The radar that was sent to you of these UFOs or UAPs around the U.S. Omaha.
Correct. That was just released last week. Radar tapes of the USS Omaha being swarmed by these small UAPs on the West Coast. And very similar to a video that I already have on the West Coast, the USS Gabriella. So they're identical. It's identical. The only difference is the Gabriella, nobody knows about it. The USS Gabriella being swarmed in Marina Del Rey. Nobody knows. I have all the video, and I posted it on my channel, Custodian File. And I also gave it to you. Maybe we could show some tonight.
Okay. Yeah, let's see what we can do.
Yes.
I'll figure it out. I'm trying to, I want to be able to show these videos. I mean, I think it's amazing. But if I can't do it, everybody go to Custodian File on YouTube, and there's like a wealth of information and videos on the site. And if you need to know how to spell it, it's right behind them, Custodian Files.
Yes.
And welcome again. Thank you for coming back on.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. It's great to be here. It's great.
It is. It's awesome. I enjoyed our conversation last week. It went really, really quick.
It was very fast. It was 2 hours and went by very quickly.
It did. Yeah. It definitely did. So, a lot of good feedback from last week. But for those who are just joining us, who weren't able to join us last week, let's do a little bit of a recap. You're a pharmacist and a scientist.
Yes, I'm a pharmacist, born and raised Los Angeles. I opened the first mail order pharmacy in the United States, 1986. Never been done. Was very successful. 25 years later, I retired. And 5 years ago, or 6, I saw some unusual Army activity over Marina Del Rey. Helicopters. They should not be here, and they were here. I started to record them, and that's when I realized that small UAPs were flying up to their windshield. And that's been going on for 6 years now. It has not stopped. It's every day. So I have thousands of videos of these small UAPs flying up to helicopters. And it's the Army is still here, the Coast Guard, the police. They're still looking. So far, they haven't captured one. I
think it would be very difficult to capture one. I mean, if we think about it, from what we assume, right? And we know what they say about assuming, but from what we can gather, they're so much further technologically advanced that we couldn't even fathom. I mean, you were saying they go about 2,000 miles an hour.
2,000. That was confirmed by the Pentagon 2 months ago. The Pentagon agrees with my research. They agree with the X-band radar. I have video of these UAPs triggering the X-band radar. So the Pentagon agrees with me that also. So they're agreeing with my videos. They're not denying what I'm saying. I give lectures at the Air Force Base. My videos have been on Discovery Channel. I give lectures at MUFON. It's getting out there.
It is getting out there. I think it's really interesting. I find it fascinating. And the thing is that, it's very easy to doctor videos just like it is with photos anymore. They make it so easy. But you can always tell. There's always a way of telling when they're doctored and photoshopped or anything like that. These are true and authentic. They're not. There's no Photoshop to these. I mean, you can see them, and the reason you called them dragons is because initially you thought they were dragonflies.
They had to be dragonflies. They had to be a bug. What else could they have been?
Right.
It had to be something flying, some type of an insect. But that was 6 years ago, and now I have 4,000 videos. And these things, they only fly when there are helicopters in the sky. They do. If there's no helicopters, there's no. They recon. They are reconning. They are scanning, probing our aircraft. But when there are no helicopters, they're not in the sky.
So the interesting thing is they come off of buildings or out of the water.
Both.
But we don't see them. You can't see them with the naked eye. But you said they're like about 10 inches long from what you can.
When they fly in flight during motion, they are 10 inches in diameter. But this is the hard part. When they are parked, they're 1 inch. 1 inch. That's the hard part. But I have video that shows that. So this is a lot to take in. This is hard. I get it. Some of you are going to be scared. Some of you are going to go, that's impossible. Some of you are going to go, no, we would have known about it already. It just, for whatever reason, I figured it out. I do have a heavy science background, and everything else had to go right. They had to be in Marina Del Rey. If they weren't in Marina Del Rey, I would have never figured it out. And technically, I didn't figure it out. The Army figured it out first when they flew in. And then I got curious and I recorded the Blackhawks, Army Blackhawks helicopters. And then that's when I figured out 1 and 1's 2. They're chasing these small UAPs.
Yep.
Yeah. So the Army gave me the information first, you might say. And then I took it from there.
Nice. Yeah. And
Yeah.
there's really nothing to be top secret about it. I mean, they're here. We all know that they're here. What I find interesting is that they're like alien drones. They can go 2,000 miles an hour.
2,000 miles an hour, no sonic boom. So when we talk about drones, we're not talking about Earth drones. We're talking about the real deal. Yeah. Most likely alien drones. I don't know of any human technology that can do this. And again, we've had every military chopper in the world right here that the Pentagon has. I can't stress that. The Air Force, the Navy, the Army, the police, the sheriff, the Coast Guard. We can't catch it.
Right.
Just not catchable.
It's like, okay, so I know that our military does a lot of flying of their drones, and even some of the aircraft, I believe now, is from they're behind a screen like a video game. And, when they're unmanned, they're doing that. Do you think that's what they're doing? Or do they have like little aliens in there that are flying them?
I know. That's a great question. Well, we don't know. In their world, to me, they look, well, I know they're 10 inches because it flew up to a telephone pole. So I have a size reference. But in their world, we don't know how big 10 inches are. Maybe 10 inches is 300 feet. We don't know.
Right.
And really, that's not what this podcast is about. This podcast is 101, a UAP 101. These things are here. They are here. And that's what I'm trying to inform. I'm trying to share. And these things are all over YouTube, all over. You could watch military aircraft, the Blue Angels, the Thunderbirds, and you could see. So you could watch the Thunderbirds over Dallas, Texas, San Francisco, Boston. You will see these UAPs all over YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah. See, I just think it's amazing. Now, like, my mind can't fathom some of it myself. And I've seen stuff. I've seen it. I've had contact, but just technologically. So it goes from 1 inch to 10 inches. And who knows that it could possibly even get bigger. Right? Like one of our aircraft or even bigger.
Well, the thing is, as the faster it goes, this is a formula in physics, F equals ma.
Okay.
The faster something goes, the more mass, the larger the mass. So these are going 2,000 miles an hour, but I think they could go much faster. And if they go faster, they're going to get larger.
Right.
As a courtesy, they are stopping at 2,000 miles an hour because my camera could not record them if they were going any faster. So, but that's very hard to take in, 1 inch to 10 inches. I get it. That's hard. Let's focus on how to record them and focus that they're here. And you can go to my channel and you can watch hundreds of videos of these UAPs, these dragons, because I thought they were dragonflies. So, and they're not dragonflies. There's something bigger is happening. And again, they're all over the world. So,
well, another interesting thing too is if they stayed at even 1 inch or 2 inches or 10 inches and tried to break through our atmosphere to head back, they'd probably burn up being so small, right? So they would have to be larger to penetrate through our atmosphere.
I certainly believe they could come and go. They can go from planet to planet. It's only logical to assume that if they are reconning planet Earth, they are reconning other planets. Very logical. They're reconning Mars, Saturn, Jupiter. In fact, we will see a picture of one on Mars because we have so many cameras on Mars. We will accidentally record a picture of one. It's going to happen. Maybe less than 4 or 5 years. It's going to happen. Based on video evidence, it looks like these small UAPs are escorts. They escort larger ships. And then once they get to the planet, their destination planet, then they stop being escorts and they recon the planet. And they are reconning everything in our sky, everything. Anything in the air is being reconned. Airplanes, helicopters, earth drones, balloons, kites, birds, no exceptions. No exceptions. So every single helicopter over Marina Del Rey is being reconned. And I have video of all that. It's not theory. I have predictable video. I know exactly when to turn on the camera. It's very predictable. They only fly when there are helicopters and only went over Marina Del Rey. It's super like 90% or higher predictability. So
nice.
Yeah.
So have you, just out of curiosity, have you tried even getting in touch with Elon Musk and putting your heads together on this?
I I've made some effort. It's not that easy to get a hold of him. It's funny you should mention it. Everything he has, this is just a weird coincidence, but everything he has in his SpaceX is named after dragons. That is Dragon rockets, Dragon crew, Dragon cargo, Dragon flight. Now, I don't know. We're not copying each other, but something odd. It's a strange coincidence. I know how I came up with the word dragon. I thought they were dragonflies. And he's based right here in Los Angeles. He's less than 10 miles from me. He's less than 10 miles. So that's
I'm gonna try to tweet him this show and stuff.
It might just, I do actually foresee a time of him and I talking. I really do.
I do too. I think it would be very beneficial for both of you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, if this is happening, I would assume he would want to know.
Yes.
And this is happening. There's a lot of agencies that do know that already, especially the LAPD. They're here the most. So they are very familiar with these UAPs, uncatchable UAPs. Very, very familiar. And every day these UAPs are here and I get new video. I got 2 hours yesterday. I got more video really than I wanted because 2 hours of video is going to take me 15 hours to process.
Oh, at least, right?
Yeah. So I got a lot of new dragon video yesterday. A lot. But if you watch my custodian channel, I will be posting in the next 5 days the new video I have. All of it's unbelievable.
It is amazing. Yeah.
I get it. A lot. There's some people out there, no, Robert, these are bugs. Or how did you calculate the speed? They're saying, how did you calculate the speed? Well, there's two ways. There's free radar on the internet called Plane Finder, planefinder.net. And that tells you how far away the airplanes are. And then with Google Map, it tells you how you can put the airplane and it tells you where exactly how far away it is. Mm-hmm. So Plane Finder gives you the location. Google Map tells you how far it is. Yeah. And then plus also, Renee, the Pentagon already agrees with my calculations.
Yep.
So it's what can I say? I mean, they're already behind me. They already said, Robert, 2,000 miles an hour with the X-band radar. I have those videos. I have the X-band video radars. I don't know. I think maybe they're watching my channel. They're putting it on paper and they're giving it to Congress.
Yeah.
Which is fine. As long as the information gets out, it's for humanity. Anything to help humanity, let's go forward.
I agree. I agree. Yeah. We can't be afraid. And so everybody's up. First of all, hi, Nicole. It's good to see you, honey. Just so that everybody knows, we're not doing this show to scare anybody. We're not doing anything for conspiracy theory or anything else. We're doing this to share because it's there. There's nothing to be afraid of. They have not done anything to harm anybody.
Zero. And,
we hear about, the cattle mutilations and stuff like that. It's sad, yes, but, they're not touching humans as far as we know. They're not, we've got more things to worry about than aliens right now in America and around the world. So, and I really do feel is that they are trying to help. I think they're trying to help. When I did a time travel about 5 years ago, and it was really interesting. And I saw this, and I saw them, and the question was, can you help us? And this was several years down the road from now. And they said it's almost too late because humans are not listening. So if we can change that, we can change anything. We can change anything by manifesting it, by doing. Like when I do readings, I tell people you can change the outcome. It's all free will. You can change the outcome of everything. We need to really stop with our ego and really use the resources that are available to us, whether it be natural resources, whether it be alien. If they're trying to help, they're trying to help, right? I don't,
Right.
like I said, I'm not saying that they're all good. They're not all good, but I don't think that these ones that are here are all bad either. I think that they are trying to help, and I think in a way protecting us from that is not, because everything has to be within balance. So there's always good and evil, no matter what. There's a balance of that. It's going to be there. So I think that if we can communicate with them, then I feel that we have a better chance as a society. And to know that if things are going downhill here, that there are places, other planets that we can go to maybe to survive, right? They would know all that. And we would learn more about the universe and about the multiverse and everything else because they already know.
They could teach us so much so quickly.
Right.
If we're open to it.
I agree.
Open communication. They will give us so much information, we wouldn't know what to do with it.
Right.
It's there. They're practically begging us. We're here. Please listen to us. So I say we listen. I say let's hear them out. Hear what they have to say.
And I don't think capturing them, I don't think, probing them and, like they say Area 51, right? I don't think that's the answer. I think like any foreign minister or, prime minister or president or ruler of any country, I think that, meeting of the planets, and of this and sitting down and actually trying to communicate because they can communicate with us.
I think, that will always exist. The desire to capture a UAP, unfortunately, will always exist, but it should not be our primary objective. We should open communications. There's more security with communication than no communication.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention, 1977, we did send out an invitation, Voyager 1, Voyager 2, with a note. It said, "We, the people of Earth, want you to come and visit us." Mm-hmm. We gave them that note.
Mm-hmm.
That was in the movie Starman, 1984, when the aliens found the note and they came to Earth, and we shot at them. So what do we do here? We gave them an invitation. They're here now. So we have to obviously show respect.
Right.
Yeah. And, they don't have to be here. They don't have to be in front of my camera. They could easily delete the video on my camera. They could easily,
right.
But they're not. So they're trying to talk to us. They're saying, "Hey, Robert, get this video out there. Show people. We'll give you a lot of video. We'll show up every day. We'll give you so much video, you won't know what to do with it."
Right. Well, and it's like the crop circles, right? They're coded. They're coded with a message, and there's people who are trying to break the code to figure out what it is, and you have people saying, well, they're so easy to create. Not that quickly. Not that quickly. You cannot create them that quickly. And, so I really feel that, we need to be more open. We need to be more receiving and receptive.
On the crop circles, there's a few of them where they start off as a small object and they get larger, larger, larger circles. And they're trying to tell us this is how we fly. When we are parked, we are small, and when we fly, we get larger and larger. And I have those videos. So I think those crop circles are pretty real, pretty accurate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, I agree with you. They are communicating, and like I said, it would only make sense that they would have to be bigger in order to go through our atmosphere, the layers of our atmosphere, so they didn't burn up like the rocket ships.
Right.
Because something small and minute that's going to fall through it or go through it, we know what happens. It burns, right?
Right.
So, it would have to have some sort of larger consistency in order to go through without.
Renee, there's so much we do not know. So much. Look at the new pictures from the James Webb telescope.
Yeah.
Now
beautiful.
it has a lot of astronomers very baffled. They're very baffled. They're literally saying, "Wait a minute, we might have to rewrite the science books. I think we've been wrong. The universe is much older." So, you know why? Because we have better cameras.
Mhm.
Astronomers have better cameras. Now they have better pictures. And these videos on Earth are because we have better cameras. We have cell phones.
Right.
We have 4K. Pretty soon we're going to have 8K cameras. We all have better cameras. So you would expect more videos, and that is what is happening. That is why I have thousands of videos
Mm-hmm.
of the same UAP over the same area, Marina Del Rey. It's phenomenal. So if your listeners have questions, I'd be happy to answer them. There's a lot of information here. We'll be lucky if we can cover 1%. We won't even cover 1% tonight.
No.
I'll do my best. I mean, but there's a reason. There's a reason why, the Pentagon is supporting my data. There's a reason why I've been allowed to give lectures at the Air Force Base, why it's on Discovery Channel.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason, because a small group of people know this is very real, and we need to get it out. It is what it is. We need to get it out. What are we going to do? Keep it top secret for another 100 years? What do you think?
It's not top secret. It's the whole thing. It's not, because people know. So, instead of playing us for fools or thinking that we're foolish or fools or that we don't have any common sense or any knowledge, bring it out. These people have to realize they work for us.
Thank you.
We pay them, they work for us. So, like any boss would expect you to, share the information to, I'm not talking wartime and you know what I'm saying? I'm not talking that type stuff, but like stuff like this here. Yeah. Share it. Why hide it? We pay you to research this, to find this stuff out. Share it with us.
And the good news, it's happening. April 19th, Congress had a hearing. Next month in June, they're having another hearing. And they're going to have another one in July.
Mm-hmm.
So it's happening quickly. Mm-hmm. I'm curious next month what they're going to talk about. Are they going to show more of my videos? They showed my videos in April.
Yeah.
So are they going to show more of my videos?
It would be so cool. Let me see something here. Let me see if I can add that video.
Yeah, please.
I don't know if I can do this. I don't know how to do it. I'll figure it out.
Okay.
It's not working. I'm like,
I know. The first time's always the trickiest.
It is.
Yeah, your picture is frozen.
Is it frozen? That's okay.
Okay, there it is. It's on.
Let me see. It's not. I wonder if it's because it's in. I'm going to try to go on desktop mode, and if I cut, just don't go anywhere.
Okay.
I got to reload it. Hang on. Let me see if that works. It doesn't have it. Why doesn't it have a sharing video? I know it's supposed to. Huh. It's not on here. For whatever reason, it is not on here. Let's see.
We could take questions.
I take a. Nope, it's not letting me. Huh. I'll figure it out. That's crazy. Okay. Yes, we can definitely take questions. Does anybody have any questions? Anybody who's listening? Nicole, it shows she's in the chat room. I don't know if she's still on.
Okay.
I'm gonna copy the URL for that one video that I wanted to do. And let me see if and I'm putting it in the chat room. So it's in the chat room. And it's under Angelic Comfort because that's my site for YouTube. And that's where I'm airing. So the video for the radar is in the chat. It's in the chat for anybody who wants to link into that and see. And you explain exactly what's going on. You know, that you have the USS Omaha there and they're swarming it. And you can see it. And it has the appendages, like 2 appendages coming off of it.
Okay. Yeah. So these small UAP dragons, they don't fly for free. They use a fuel. And since they are often seen around high voltage power lines, and I have a video of them touching high voltage power lines, I have to assume they are using electricity to fly. Mm-hmm. And so when they fly, they do give off 2 wings, 2 exhaust jets. And those exhaust jets, I call them plasma jets. And you will see them on all the videos. You will see 2 plasma jets. I think that's I think that will become the standard on UFO videos. You're going to have to look for plasma jets when they fly. I think that's going to be the new standard coming. Yes.
Interesting.
Hey, can you hand me the fan, please? Yeah. So when you see those plasma jets, you're going to have the tendency to, excuse me, you're going to have the tendency to want to say, "Oh, that's a bug," because look at the wings. But those are not wings on a bug. That's propulsion. That is the electron propulsion. That's what you are seeing.
And it almost looks like it comes out and then up, right? So here's the main body right here, and this comes out and up a little bit. So it would kind of be like,
these plasma jets tend to be toward the very front of the object, almost at the very front, not in the middle of the body. So that's a brand new concept. Nobody has ever brought that up. I'm the only one bringing that up. The plasma jet, propulsion, electricity, the speeds, the X-band. They also trigger K-band, a lot of K-band radar. They go out of the water. They land on land also. They're very predictable. You can bait them. So in other words, if you fly a helicopter over here to Marina Del Rey, you can use the helicopter as bait because they will fly up to the helicopter. And that's why I have so much video.
No, I thought of you today because the Blue Angels were practicing today for flyover in New York City, right? And I kept thinking about it. I'm like, I wonder if anybody's going to film that, and if they slowed it down, would they see them? You know what I'm saying? It was like right on my mind today because when I'm at work and I'm prepping the food and everything and making salads and stuff, I have my Sirius XM on and I have the news on just to hear what's going on and kind of laugh at some of it. But I heard, about the Blue Angels this morning, and I was like, oh man, that would be like so cool to.
I'll go out on a limb. I'll make a prediction. There are going to be hundreds of thousands of people watching the Blue Angels. A couple of hundred of them are going to record the Blue Angels, and they're going to put it on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to watch that video, and I will find these UAP dragons, and I will tell you where they are.
Yeah.
That is 90% for sure. 90% going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say 100 because 90 is closer to the right answer.
So it'd be kind of cool because I know like my family likes to go to the air shows and stuff out in Geneseo and, to the War Museum out there and see the flights and everything. It would be really cool to be able to film that and see if they're even there when the Blue Angels fly over.
They will be. The Blue Angels get tagged a lot.
Yeah.
Tag is when the UAP dragon flies by or flies into the video. They get tagged a lot. Now, Chicago is the #1 city for tagging. Why? I don't know. I have a theory, but I can't say for sure. But New York is going to get tagged. They're going to be there this weekend. It's going to happen. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday night, I'll be watching the Blue Angel videos from New York.
Yep, that'll be cool.
I'll let you know first. I'll send you the video.
Yeah, send me the video. I'd love to see it.
Yeah.
Because it'd be really cool. I do another show on Sunday nights with my friend Dom, and we're going to actually be together, and he's got all the equipment to, slow things down and everything else, so it'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. That's the beauty of the internet. Hundreds of people are going to post their video.
Right.
So it would be impossible to hire 100 people and say, go record the Blue Angels.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what's going to happen. And you can watch the video for free.
Yep.
So it's that predictable. They're everywhere. They're all over the world. I have viewers from Europe, South America, Australia. Every day they're sending me video. It's like, oh my God, how much can I do? I watch their video. And they go, can you edit the video for me? Okay, I'll edit the video. So I'm doing their video, I'm doing my video, and I'm looking for video on YouTube.
Right.
And I'm retired. And I'm trying to like enjoy my retirement. I've never been busier.
Nice.
Busier.
Well, that's good though. Keep going.
I'm presently trying to create new software that will locate and record the dragon for me automatically. But it's very challenging, and I'm gonna need help from NASA. It's very challenging to create this kind of software. So NASA, if you're listening, I need your help.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I still say we've got to get Elon Musk and you connected, because I really think we've got to figure out a way to get a hold of him and get his attention. You know what I mean? It's all over Twitter. He is all over Twitter, and I've tried a few times, but I'm not one of those blue checks yet. So, and I don't know if I put my phone number in. I don't remember, because you can't get it unless you have your phone number listed, like in it, but not like visible or whatever for the public. But
I ran into this is a small world. I ran into a babysitter he had.
Really?
She used to, from 5 years ago. And I said, hey, I want to get him a message. And she goes, well, I don't have his email no more. So I almost came close to getting a hold of him. But Renee, once he learns about these dragons, he's going to want to know a lot more.
Oh, of course he is.
He's going to want to know a lot. And I have the video. I can answer.
I have to tell you, he is probably one of the most intelligent men and inquisitive, and he acts on what he thinks and what he knows or what he wants to do. He doesn't just sit back, and he doesn't care. Like, he's not one of those he's wealthy, but he's not egotistically wealthy. Do you know what I'm saying? There's a difference between the ego and being spiritual, and he seems to be very down to earth and a good personality, and he really does. He works hard. He works hard for what he has. And I'm not going to say he could care less if he were broke tomorrow, but he really is for humanity and saving humanity. And he's been putting out warnings about AI for months now. Like, watch out. This is not good. He knows. He's got Starlink. He's doing that. People can see Starlink in the sky at night sometimes if it's passing over your area. He is a wealth of information. He's intelligent, and he stops at nothing until he gets what it is that he wants, like with the aircraft, with Dragon, SpaceX.
That's my first question. I'm going to want to know, Mr. Musk, how did you get this name Dragon? I'm very puzzled. How did you and I've talked to people that know him, and nobody knows the answer.
Right.
Nobody knows the answer where this dragon name came from.
Well, it's like I was telling you, I go by like Barefoot Dragonfly and, Dragonfly Cove Entertainment. And, I just love the Dragonfly. So like there's that connection even with us when you talk about the Dragonfly,
Right.
It's just amazing. So we were meant to be connected.
Yes, we were. I really believe that. And then, and I think you're going to be surprised on how much more video that is coming. Yep. There's quite a bit. Bit. Yeah.
Shout out to Dan, who's in the chat room. He's listening in. He's agreeing. He's got 100% and thumbs up in there.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry you can't get your video link open here, but go to a custodian file and you'll see things you won't believe.
Yep. When I posted the link in the chat room, it'll at least bring them to that one video, and then they can click on custodian file.
Yes. Yes.
So it'll help.
Yes. And it's easy to do. There is a free radar on the internet. It's called planefinder.net. Planefinder.net. and it tells you the airplanes that are over your city.
Right.
And if you want to record helicopters, turn on Plane Finder. When you see the helicopter coming toward you, go outside and record it.
Mm-hmm.
Hold your camera sideways, zoom in halfway, not too close, and record for 30 seconds. You will record these dragons. That's it.
Yeah, I think it's so cool.
That's the secret sauce. And I know I made it sound too easy. You're
But
thinking,
why does everything have to be so difficult anyway? And that's the whole thing, is that sometimes it's the simplest solution gives us the answers that we want or the outcome that we want. It's always simple. We
Renee,
try to make everything so difficult, and it doesn't have to be.
You could take the largest safe in the world, and you could, if somebody says, "We'll try to open it," and you would say, "I can't. This is really hard to open." But then, if I gave you the combination, how easy would it be?
Right.
So things could be hard or they could be easy.
Yep.
If we have the information. I just gave you the information. I gave you the secret sauce. Record aircraft, record helicopters. Look for a tiny dot. That tiny dot will be the UAP Dragon. They are everywhere.
So listen, guess what's flying over me right now?
Sounds like a...
Listen. It's a helicopter.
Right.
It's
right.
Flying fairly low. They're looking for me. They're looking for me, Robert.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm on my deck under the tree.
Yeah. You could go, you know what? I have my plane finder right now. I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to. I should have had it already turned on.
It's like in New York. It's like in New York.
Yeah. I don't.
It's flying north.
Oh my God. Give me.
Actually, east.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. There's a couple of helicopters in the area. Yeah. Plane Finder. Just go to planefinder.net. I'll be more prepared on the next podcast.
Isn't that funny? Yeah, because I'm only like 2 miles down the road from the airport. It's an international airport. Small, but international.
Yeah, wow. Wow. Yeah, because I doubt if it's tourism.
This was not.
Yeah.
Military. I do know it wasn't military, because if it was military, you'd definitely hear the difference and see the difference in size.
Right. Well, when the military comes here, some of them are very like the Ospreys or the Apaches. They're so loud, you can hear them 10 minutes before you can see them.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah. So I'm standing on my balcony and I have the camera going. And I'm like, okay, come on. I can hear you. Come on. Come on. And then they do. They come in over Marina Del Rey and they get tagged.
Mm-hmm.
These UAPs, they fly up to the airplane.
Yep. It's really cool.
Very predictable.
Really cool. You wonder what data they're trying to get. Are they trying to see how far advanced we've gotten? Or, are they trying to protect? Or are they trying to guard what's in maybe underneath the ledges in Marina Del Rey? What are they protecting?
There's something in Marina Del Rey. It's probably under the water, probably. Mm-hmm. But you could assume there's an interest. There's one theory. They used to do in 1942. They used to do experiments with uranium right here in Marina Del Rey. So I wonder if that's the connection. Are they still watching maybe because I think some of that experiment, we left it in the ground. We never took it out. And I think they are still watching that nuclear waste that's buried.
Possible. I keep hearing uranium.
Yeah.
I keep hearing uranium. So let's talk about your friend Glenn.
Yes. Oh my God. So Glenn, oh my God. Glenn is going to blow your mind. To me, he's technically a bigger story than UFOs. If you can, it's like, how's that even possible? So I met Glenn. I had a pharmacy for 25 years. I met him through the pharmacy.
Mm.
And Glenn was born with a gift. He was telepathic, but on a very high level, like a very serious level.
Mm-hmm.
Telepathic, he could time travel. He was in the Air Force, 1948 in Iceland. He was a gifted psychic, which means, by the way, his full name is Glenn Falkenstein. He's on YouTube. Glenn Falkenstein, Faklenstein, Glenn Falkenstein. He's literally the most gifted psychic in the past or that will ever live in the future. That's how scary. That's how scary. When he was in the Air Force, they could give him a blank piece of paper because he worked in Iceland. That's where it's a listening post where they listen for Russian and Chinese top secret messages. And you could give Glenn a blank piece of paper. That's all he needs is a blank piece of paper. And you could say, Glenn, what's this message? What does it say? And Glenn could read the whole message instantly, faster than you could read a book in front of you. He could read the whole message. So he obviously is responsible for decoding thousands of Chinese and Russian codes very easily. Very telepathic. You could call his answering machine and you could just think. You could telepathically say, hey, this is Renee. Call me at this number. And he would do it.
Nice.
Unbelievable. People are known by their friends who they associate with.
Yes.
He reluctantly told me about a time traveler that would visit him. This time traveler would occasionally visit Glenn. That's the level he was on. And even though he passed away 2010, he still tells me information.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't matter. His gift is still here. And for the heck of it, if you want to say hello to Glenn and ask for him to say hello, maybe he will. He'll reach out. He might turn on the lights. He'll do something unusual. It'll be something unusual. It could be anything. It could mostly lights. It could be an aircraft, but something unusual, very likely if you just ask. But go to YouTube and check him out. It's not a trick. It's not magic. It's very real. Very real. He did a radio show for 1 year. In 1974, he did a radio show. People would call and they would say, Glenn, where am I? Where do I live? What's going on? And he would just tell them, oh, you live in Pasadena. This is your address. You're married.
Wow.
These are the name of your children. It's just, he never got it wrong. Over and over. A couple of people called him. There's one lady called him in 1974 on the radio. Said, Glenn, I have bad news. My sister's missing. She's missing. We can't find her. He goes, oh, okay. She's living with her aunt in San Francisco. And she was. I had this other guy call. He said, he called Glenn from a phone booth. He said, Glenn, I don't believe you. I don't believe any of us. He said, if you're real, where am I right now? And Glenn said, are you calling me from a phone booth in Long Beach, California? Did you spend the day with your family in Disneyland? The guy hung up.
Nice.
Scared. It took me 3 years before I could stand next to him. I'm like, oh no, I'm not doing this. This is, but you know what? The nicest human being you'll ever meet on planet Earth. The nicest. And the Air Force, he was in the Air Force. The Air Force owes him a big thank you. Big thank you. And he had a lot to do with UFOs also. 1952, Washington, D.C., July, when those UFOs were over the White House for 1 month.
Mm-hmm.
That was Glenn. Glenn was in Washington, D.C. for 1 month. They were saying hello to Glenn.
Nice.
That's who Glenn was. That's how those were his friends. So it's not surprising that all this UAP activity is happening. This is happening because I know Glenn. This is what's going on. And if I know Glenn well, the activity is going to get better and better.
Nice.
Better and better. So check him out. I'll be happy. You can email me at custodianfiles@gmail. Custodianfiles@gmail. Glenn was the real deal. Was spooky as heck. I mean, you could, if he could tell you the serial numbers on a dollar bill in your pocket right now.
Wow.
Yeah, just
That's
like
impressive.
yeah, just like it, there was. He never said, "I don't know the answer to that." I never heard him say that one time. You could ask anything. Knowing what I know, I feel terrible. I should have asked 10,000 other questions. I took it for granted that I was friends with him. So, I mean, I could ask him how old the universe is.
Mm-hmm.
I could ask him, which city do aliens live? What's underwater? Where do they live? When are aliens going to land? I mean, anything. It's just, I took it for granted. It was, yeah. I'm annoyed with myself that I lost that opportunity.
Well, it's not that you took him for granted. I think you showed him a respect that you weren't his friend because of that. You were his friend because of himself, you know, his spiritual self, his soul self, not for being a psychic medium, because I know how it is sometimes where, you know, people try to take advantage.
Sure.
You know, and
Yes.
it's like constant, and it's like, you know, are you a true friend or not? Because a true friend is not going to keep doing that. You know what I'm saying? That it's usury. That's usury.
Yeah.
I deal with it.
I did have one funny encounter. I was at the pharmacy. he came in, and at the same time, these police officers came in. I was friends with them. They were on the bicycle patrol, the bicycle. So they came in, and I said, hey, let me introduce you to my friend Glenn. He's telepathic. And they said, no, we don't believe in that, Robert. You know, we're police officers. We don't believe in that. I said, okay. I said, you got $1 in your pocket? So they pull out $1, and Glenn closes his eyes and he turns his head and he touches the $1. And he reads out the serial number right in front of them. And I got to tell you, they got so scared, they left, and they never came back, Renee. I thought we were friends. They never came back. And I've known them for years and years. And so that's the limit.
Some things do spook people. You know, I did an event a wellness event up in Old Forge this past weekend. And I had a group of women come in, and, you know, they're like, you know, can you do all of us? Can you do like a gallery? You know, we're all related. Can you do that? And this is what we'll pay you. You know, would you be willing to do it for half an hour? And I said, well, sure, why not? And so I'm, you know, relaying the messages from the spirits that are there and telling them who's there and stuff. And they're like, okay. And we're getting ready to wrap it up. And I turned to the one woman and I said, a penny for your thoughts. And they all screamed. They all screamed. And I'm like, okay, what's going on here? And they're like, and one started crying. She goes, you don't know, because I just wanted a confirmation that what you were saying was real and that it was really her. And she goes, all I said was, you know, in my head was, if it's you, let Renee say something with the word penny in it. And I said, a penny for your thoughts. And apparently she used to, you know, those little international coffee tins they had back like in the 90s and 80s, the tins where you could open it and it was like the powder, you put it in the boiling water and you had the international coffee, right?
Yeah.
Well, this woman was their nanny, and she used to take the tins when they were empty and put pennies in them. So they would each get for their birthday an international tin with the pennies in it. And so when I said a penny for your thoughts, they all freaked out.
Like, there you go.
Freaked out. And I said, oh, please don't be, don't be freaked out, but that was the confirmation that they needed.
You know, Glenn, he did tell me something. He told me where there's some treasure buried. So if you know anyone who's a professional treasure hunter, the name of the treasure is called the Beale, Beale, the Beale treasure. I think it's about $100 million.
Wow. Is that near Beale Street in Memphis?
No, I think it's in Virginia City, nearby. It's very famous if you Google it. He told me how to find it. So for what it's worth, if anybody is on board with this, I mean, we'd have to give half the money to charity, but it has to be all legitimate and upfront. We can't do it in the middle of the night. But yeah, he told me how to find the treasure, exactly where it was.
Let's do a trip. I'll meet you.
We'll go together. Live cameras. We'll bring live cameras. We'll make it big. It won't be a waste of time. Glenn was never wrong. Never. That's never. I mean, it's eerie. It's like, Glenn, you're never going to be wrong. Something. Nope. No, you could tell him where you lost your house key when you were 10 years old. He'd tell you where it's at. It's eerie. Yeah. And I have a lot of those radio shows. he recorded all of them, and I have all of them, and I've listened to half of them so far. I digitized half of his radio shows.
Nice.
So if you want to listen to them, I could send you a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, it could be interesting.
There's one interview, he interviewed Bruce Lee. And Bruce Lee was asking him, who's going to win the Super Bowl? And Glenn said, you know what? I can't do that anymore, because he predicted the winner of the previous Super Bowl, and he was exactly correct, and he predicted the attendance exactly correct, and he said the next day the government rang his doorbell. Yeah, and they politely said, Glenn, you cannot be making predictions anymore on the radio, because technically you cannot use the radio to make predictions. There's some type of loophole, a small print. But they said, more importantly, a person like you could change the future. You could change the stock market. So please don't make predictions anymore. So he goes, okay, no problem. I won't do that. But what they were really asking him, do not make any more predictions of the future in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
So when he did his radio show a few years later, he was making predictions of the horse races in Tijuana.
Nice.
And he was always correct.
Mm-hmm.
And after about 100 horse races, 100, the Mexican government they started the protests, and they called the American government. And the American government paid a visit to Glenn again. And they said, look, you got to stop this. They think this horse racing is all crooked, and you got to stop.
Mm-hmm. So
Glenn said, no, I'll tell you what, I'm still going to predict the horses. I just won't put it on the radio. So that's where he moved. That was the circle he moved in. He was the real deal.
Mm-hmm.
Something like the movie Oh God from 1977. I mean, it's funny, like the George Burns. He kind of even looked like George Burns. But
nice.
It wouldn't matter, Renee, any question in the world. It's like I said, like, you know, when he was telling me about the time traveler, I said, Glenn, you know a time traveler? And then I flipped out. He goes, yeah, we're friends. And then I said, well, what's his name and what's he doing? And he did reluctantly. He told me his name and why he's here. He's doing research. But I don't want to say more than that, because Renee, I really believe it could mess up the timeline.
Mm-hmm.
Because this time traveler 1,000 years from now, you could assume there are such thing as time traveler police, the time traveler police. And if I tell you his name and what he's doing, the time traveler police in 1,000 years from now, they're going to watch this video.
Right.
And it could get this guy in a lot of trouble, and I don't want that.
Right. Nope, I get it.
Yeah, but it was.
So he's from 1,000 years in the future?
I would say at least, Glenn. Well, the time traveler, I don't know, before we have time travel, maybe we'll have time travel in 500 years, maybe sooner. I had a patient. He worked for a top secret division in NASA. he would tell me that 15 years ago, they were doing research on time travel 15 years ago. And they were 5 minutes successful. They could time travel back 5 minutes. He told me more, but again, I don't want to get anyone in trouble.
We are getting voiceovers.
Yeah.
We're getting EVPs on this show, just to let you know. I'm hearing
what's going on with that?
It's the other side. They've cut in a few times already, so it'd be interesting. This last one was at just I would say like 9:25 p.m. or so. So in like an hour and 9 minutes into the show, maybe. It'd be interesting to see if we hear it, if it's recorded.
Okay, well, something will be on the video when we play it back. Something will be there.
Mm-hmm.
This is, Renee, this is very powerful stuff. I mean, we're talking about real UAPs.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, and I don't want to insult other gifted psychics, because there's a lot of gifted psychics, but Glenn was way past that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if he should have been allowed to be on the planet, because he was just so advanced. But I'm glad he was in the Air Force, because we cashed in. We cashed in big time. Big time. Yeah. You could assume.
The nice thing is that none of us are the same. We're the psychics and the psychic medium and everything else. None of us are the same. We all have our own specialties. And so that's pretty cool that he had that ability.
He never told me. I had to figure it out. But he was only psychic when he closed his eyes. When he closed his eyes, he could see the answer typed in front of him,
mm-hmm.
like a text.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that when he was alive. I should have challenged him one time and say, Glenn, read the serial number with your eyes open. I don't think he could do it.
Probably not. I mean, there's times when I'm doing readings and doing communication with the other side for people. And even when I'm here and I close my eyes because it plays in front of my eyes on my eyelids. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, yes.
And sometimes I can hear better. It's not that I don't want to look at the people, but I'm not one to look at the people to look at their reaction to go on and on. You know what I mean?
Right.
I close my eyes because it's right there, or I'll look beyond the person to see what's going on and what's there beyond them. But a lot of times I close my eyes and my eyelids become a movie screen.
Would you say this the same is true with you? Would your job be harder with your eyes open?
No, because I do it 50-50. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I do it 50-50. Sometimes it's better if my eyes are open, but then when I close my eyes, I think it becomes more detailed, if that makes sense. Things become more detailed, and I kind of go into a trance and see what's going on that way.
Yeah, I follow.
So my eyes are closed, and I'm seeing this, and I'm speaking what I'm seeing on my movie screen.
Okay, follow. Yeah, I think that's exactly how he did it too. Yeah, it's just a matter of trial and error and teaching yourself, and
years,
especially if you don't have a mentor, if you don't have anyone to give you the answers,
mm-hmm.
the clues. Years, if not a lifetime, if not never. It could happen. We just have to be taught.
Right.
We could learn how to build one of these dragons. We just have to be taught. That's it.
Well, I've told you I've had communication in the past with alien life form and stuff. And the one time where they literally like closed my eyelids because I wasn't even supposed to see them, but I did, I did. And they told me I was a stubborn ass because what they've been wanting to do, they've been wanting to do it for, several days, but because I was stubborn and stayed up late and everything else, they had no choice but to do it with me awake. And it wasn't probing or anything like that. They just said that we need to bump you up to the next level. You help heal people, and you facilitate this, and so we need to do this type of. It was like a form of attunement, but they literally put me in a paralysis.
Yeah.
They were right there, laughing, and they were beautiful. They were not angels. They were absolutely beautiful, the ones that I saw, and they were friendly, but they were doing something to help me to assist others.
Right. Well, I do believe they're here to help us. I believe
Definitely.
the majority of them are friendly and they care about humanity,
Mm-hmm.
and they want to see us make it.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, that has to be our decision.
Right.
We have to decide, look, I want this world to be better. I want us to advance. I want the good things to happen. It's
Right.
in front of us. It's not 100 years in front of us. It's less than a year or a couple years away. It's so close. All we have to do, open communications. We're taking the right step. Congress is doing the best they can. They're investigating. They just need to tell all people, the American people, all people, these things are here. Treat them with respect. Let's learn from them. Let's go forward.
Correct.
That's it. If we can do that, we will be successful. That's it.
Yep. I totally agree.
They're here.
I totally agree.
Let's stop shooting, because we do have this policy to shoot at UFOs.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a policy, it's not public knowledge, but they have a policy of return to sender. Well, they will turn around our missiles and take down our airplanes.
Right. You were saying that last week.
And they do that. They did that in 1950s and the 1960s. They do it now, but in 1950s and 1960s, the Pentagon had a policy to shoot down a UFO for 20 years, 20.
Mm-hmm.
And on the average, we lost an airplane every day in the world for 20 years because we were trying to shoot down a UFO, and they would turn the missiles around and blow us out of the sky. They use our own weapons. Now, some people might say, well, Robert, how do you know that? As a pharmacist, you'd be surprised what my patients tell me.
Oh, of course.
I mean, I'm holding back a lot. I mean, I could tell you the top secret divisions at NASA, but then they'd be ringing my doorbell tomorrow.
Yeah, right. Don't tell us. I don't want to know.
Yeah. It's irrelevant anyway. But so yeah, after around 1973, the Pentagon decided to stop trying to shoot down UFOs.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't lose any more airplanes. But the Italian government has lost a lot of airplanes because of the same policy. So we got to stop. We got to stop with the shooting. But we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen here. Anything's up for grabs. You know, a couple months ago, over Chicago airspace, it was reported we shot down a balloon, a black hexagon balloon. It was reported. And the first missile missed. They said it missed. I don't believe that for a second.
Mm-mm.
What I think happened, Renee, I know that black hexagon, what he's talking about. I have a picture. That's a UAP. I have a picture of that black hexagon over Chicago. It's too coincidental. I think we shot at it. It turned the missile around. And I think that pilot was flying for his life, trying to get out of there. He was flying like Top Gun, the real deal. He was running for his life, and he got away, but barely, because our missiles are pretty good. They don't miss.
Right.
They don't miss. And God forbid if those missiles turn around and they come at you, they probably, I would assume, they give our pilots special training. If one of our missiles ever go haywire and they come at you, this is how you evade them.
Right.
And we probably did that, and it saved his life. But I don't believe for a second we shot a missile and it missed. I think they turned it around. That pilot barely got out of there. And that's, of course, that's a top secret story, and I don't know if we'll ever be told that. But I said it first. Yeah, because those missiles don't miss. I'm sorry.
No.
We shot a missile at a balloon and it missed. Yeah, Renee, if you believe that, I have some oceanfront property in Nevada.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'll sell it cheap.
It's crazy. Yeah, no, I know. It just, if they would just treat us like we have some intelligence, because we do.
We do.
You know, and that's the whole thing. And it's, the lies are just one after another. It's like a person who consistently lies and they believe them. And, you know, so they just continue. And they don't realize how foolish they look.
Exactly.
You know?
Precisely.
Yep.
I'm getting tired of it. I'm getting tired of the BS. I don't want to hear it anymore. They're here.
No, I agree.
They're here. It is what it is.
Yep.
Whether you or I are talking or not, they are here and they are not leaving. They're not leaving.
No.
So we sent them an invitation. They're here. Let's go with it. You know, chances are, if we all got together and we said, we don't want you here anymore, chances are they would probably leave. But I don't think that would be a good move, because then the bad aliens would be here. And that would not be good.
No, it wouldn't be.
That would not be good.
I think we have enough of them roaming around, to be honest. And they're trying to save us from them.
Exactly. And I would.
Oh, both are here. Both are here.
Yes, I would hope they would. In fact, I would tell them, it's your responsibility to keep us safe. I would tell the good aliens, you got to watch over us, because there's some bad guys out there. It's your responsibility. Just like as an adult, if you see a couple of children fighting in the sandbox, as an adult, you're supposed to go there, hey, break it up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we need their help. If these bad aliens try to come at us, we need the good aliens to say, break it up, back off.
Mm-hmm.
So I welcome that. But we got to start, at least get to know them, establish an open communication, have a representative at the United Nations.
Right.
It is what it is. They're entitled to a seat. Okay. One representative, even if they're only here one day a year, we should give them a seat. Let them speak. Let them voice their opinion. If we don't want to listen, don't listen. I would listen to them.
Mm-hmm.
I'd want to know what they have to say.
Agreed.
But at the very least, it costs us nothing to listen to them.
Right.
So let's do that. So that's.
Nope, I totally agree.
But I think disclosure is very near, very, very near. With Congress now doing these hearings, they had one last month. Now we're going to have one in June and July. They're going to probably have one in September. Disclosure is near. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter later if people say, I told you they were here, I told you. What's important is we benefit, we learn, we come together. You know, we if they have information, we listen to it. Because if they're running on electricity, and I know they are, we could use that technology. We could put it in our electric cars. And our electric cars could travel up to 1,500 miles.
Right.
Which means you could drive from New York to LA with one charge. With one charge. You could go halfway,
Wow.
wherever halfway is. I don't know where halfway in America is. Charge up and then drive to LA. And that's it, one charge. So we could do that. They're here, they're begging us. We are trying to talk to you. We are saying hello, hello. Look at these X bands, these K bands and these X bands on the car radio, on the car radar detector. That's their way of saying hello.
Right.
They could fly invisible if they wanted to, but they're trying to communicate. I don't know what more can they do. I really don't. If they were to land, I don't recommend that. Because there'd be too much screaming and hollering, pandemonium. Not from all of us, maybe 20%. But they don't want to be responsible for the 20% that are going to get upset.
Right.
They don't want that responsibility. So in the meantime, they're saying, take our picture, put it on your internet, send it around. Here we are. And that's what you and I are doing. We're doing our job. We're trying to get the message out.
Right. No, you're right.
We don't have to be doing this. I'm a retired pharmacist. I invented the mail order pharmacy business. I did very well. I could be in Europe, having fun, but I'm here still doing the work. So please, we need the help of other people. And, once it's all behind us, it won't be that big of a deal. People are going to go, okay, UFOs. Oh yeah, that's like MySpace. That was a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
What's new? People will be saying, oh, you got any new video? You got anything to charge my electric car? I mean, people only want to know about the future.
Right.
So let's put this UFO stuff behind us.
There we go.
Here we go. Exactly.
Robert, I think we're going to end on this note.
Excellent.
It's a pleasure to meet you and a pleasure to have you last week and this week on the show. I'm grateful. I'm humbled, and it's been amazing. It's been some great information and it ran smoothly, which makes me very happy. Except for sharing the videos, which doesn't make me happy, but I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And just to say thank you, to definitely we'll keep in touch.
Yes.
And
thank you very much.
We'll continue this. I'll have you back on again down the road, not far down the road, but I want you to get more information and we'll check in with you and see where you're at.
How about after the next Congress hearing in June?
Okay, sounds
Yeah.
good.
We'll report on what they report about.
Okay, that sounds good.
Beautiful.
And can you tell everybody again how they can get in touch with you?
Yes, custodian file on YouTube or custodian file at Gmail. Custodian file Gmail, custodian file YouTube.
And he's not on social media, so you're not going to find him there. So those are the only two places you're going to be able to get in touch with him.
Yeah, I'm not a computer guy. I'm old school. I'm sorry.
That's all good.
Yeah. Okay.
Probably better off that way.
Yeah, I can't. You know, the stick that broke the camel's back. I can't take any more, Renee. I've got too many videos already, so
Yep.
I couldn't do social media. I couldn't.
Nope, I get it.
Maybe in the future I'll hire somebody, but I can't do it right now.
There you go.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Enjoy your dinner. I'm sure you're going to have dinner here soon because you're still behind us and you were on the road.
I'm going to dinner. I'm going to dinner right now.
Nice. Take care of yourself. Send my love to your wife.
Thank you. Many blessings. God bless.
Thank you. God bless you too. Take care, everybody. Good night. Thank you for listening in. Good night, Robert.
Thank you. Good night, Renee. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.